best car, SUV, or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
And we are pleased, as always, to have the owners of that fine establishment. We call it Low Overhead Country. It's Frontier Motors at 230 Beverly Parkway. They are here ready, willing, and certainly more than able to take any phone inquiries from you. If you'd like to get the price of a car or a truck or an SUV that you're thinking of buying or selling or trading in, we'll tell you to call 478-3116. But first, let me introduce Ivan Streckel and Ron Schneider. Good morning, gents.
Well, good morning.
Don,
good morning, and thank
good
you.
morning.
Yeah. We're here doing our dual purpose. We're shooting our show for the cable viewers, and we're talking with Don Parker on WCOA Radio. And WCOA Radio, we do every Monday at 10, every Friday at 10. It's a call-in show, 478-3116, if you're listening out there in Radio Land. And if you're watching on TV Land, we'll just go step by step to find out what goes on at Big Frontier Motors, right, Ivan?
That's right. Books that we use are a little bit different than what you get on the internet. I do have the computer in front of me in case I want to get to the auction reports, but we use the NADA guide, and these guides are not available at your local bookstore or online. So you've got to call Frontier Motors, or you got to call your banker to get that. The reason we use these NADA guides book is because that's what the bankers use, and a lot of the insurance companies in our area use this book also to determine the value in case your car gets totaled. The other book we use are the Black Wholesale Guide books. These are the books that dealers use to evaluate a car, and they're supposed to be what's going on at the auctions. But just to double check that, we can get right into the Manheim auction reports, which is kind of neat that we can get right in to see what happened last week, the week before, within 30 days, to see that if you're looking for a particular vehicle, if the books are correct. And that's one of the reasons you call Frontier Motors, to find out if the book values that you get online, whether it be the Edmunds, the Kelly, or the NEDA, when you get them online, are those values high or low based on what's going on in the marketplace? And that's where Ron and myself come in, and our three sales managers at Frontier Motors, to give you what we call the real value, as far as if you're going to sell your car yourself, if you're going to sell it to us, or if you want us to sell it for you.
Isn't that strange? We are informed. We know how to do these values, and we're willing to share them with you.
At no charge.
At no charge. Now, that's quite unusual in the car industry. We thought it was a little more unusual when we came and we started the radio show 18 years ago with you, Don, and we've been doing it now. Yeah, we're in our 19th year of business, and you've been helping us do this and share. So if anybody wants to do that, 478-3116. But, I say unusual because dealers nowadays, with all the internet, with all the information, they still have that archaic way sometimes of doing business. I was watching a commercial last night, and they were showing this beautiful import car. I mean, nice, and zoom, and then they came up with this payment on there. I said, they can't do that. It's $249 a month, just like you do every once in a while. Stopped it. I had to reverse it. I had to figure out how they were doing it. And, of course, they showed how much the payment was. And it was a lease, which is okay, I guess. Leases are good. But you had to put $2,800 down, plus the tax, plus the tag, plus this, plus that. So I ended up putting about $3,500 down. I said, no, that's a gimmick. But at Frontier Motors, we try to stay away.
If you put $3,500 down on a purchase, that might be a better way to go than go with a lease, if you're going to put that kind of money down.
But
I always thought the reason that they go with a lease is because you don't have to put any money down. Yeah. But the way they get those payments to be that low is by doing what they call a capitalized cost reduction, which is a fancy word for down payment. Like Ron said, not only do you have to do the down payment, you got to pay a tax in advance, the first month's payment, the security deposit, and there's other little things like the dock fee and the tag, all that stuff you've got to pay for in cash. So it adds up real quick.
How'd you like to be a salesman there, and then the customer comes in, you got to say, "Oh no, that's not really, really true." No, let me tell you how you really, really got to do it. Let me go get my boss. Let me
Half
get.
the salesmen
It's
don't
one of
even
those
know.
deals,
Yeah, I remember when we were doing, because Ron and I both worked for new car dealerships. This was years ago. When they had the advertising, our dealerships were, I think, better than most, where they actually sat us down and informed us on what was being advertised and how we got to a particular payment. Because when you look in the land of the new car world, a lot of times it's not the dealership that's doing the advertising. It's the actual manufacturer that does the advertising. So a dealership doesn't really have anything to do with it. When they come out, and I saw this the other day, Ron, on a pickup truck, that you can get $12,000 off of a pickup truck. And they had 4 rebates there. And then the bottom it says to well-qualified customers. And I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Who's going to determine who the well-qualified customers. I would like to be a well-qualified customer. So I'm sorry, sir, you're not well-qualified. What the heck does that mean? Now I only get like 6,000 of the $12,000 rebate. So it gets very confusing. And one of the things that we do at Frontier Motors is we give people advice. And we've been doing this going on 19 years now, talking about free advice. And this is not a gimmick to get you into the dealership to buy a car. When you stop in for free advice, it's free advice on, for example, what happens if your car gets totaled. What should the value of that car be as far as in the insurance company's eyes? Number two, what if you get into a major accident and you've got a brand new car that's 6 months old and somebody runs a stoplight and they make $10,000 worth of damage to your car? What is now the diminished value of that car? We can help you get some extra money from the insurance company because the car's value has now been diminished. If you're going to buy a brand new car, we have the new car cost guides. That's this red book that I'm picking up right now. It has the invoice, the dollar amount that the dealer pays for any car on the market. If you read Consumers Reports, you can buy an invoice through Consumers Reports for $15. You can get it from Frontier Motors at no charge. And I think best of all, we're going to give you the value of your car as far as what the appraisal should be. Because if you do decide to buy a brand new car, what should they give you a check for your car after you've gotten your discount? And that's where we come in because we give you that figure.
Yeah, if you want to, before you go to the new car dealership, stop by Frontier Motors, like Ivan said. We'll take a look at it. One of the 3 sales managers, or myself or him, will take and look at the car. We'll give you a value. We'll give you that value in writing, a buy bid. We'll sign that writing, and then we'll give it to you for 7 days so you can do your shopping. If the dealer doesn't treat you right, bring it back to us and sell it to us. If they treat you right, maybe it'll help you get more. For instance, if I appraise a car for $10,000, I put it in writing, it's good for 7 days. You go to a car dealership, they appraise your car for $85,000. Pull that little piece of paper out of your back pocket and say, Frontier's going to give me 10. Maybe they'll give you 10. Maybe that'll make you get a better deal. That's some of the things we do. One of the other things we do is we help you out with car history reports. And I haven't talked about values. How much does a auto check or a Carfax affect the value of your vehicle? Well, if you have a Carfax that has all the service records on it, everything is in order and everything looks good, there's no accidents, that's not going to affect it. It's maybe going to make it go up a little bit, or I should say it will affect it. It's going to go up a little bit. If you got one that looks like this with a big red dot in it, that's going to diminish the value of the vehicle. And this one here says it has a title problem. It doesn't say that the car got in an accident. It says it has a title problem. So what you do is you look back in there and you find out what's going on. And when I look into this one, I found out that the title issue problem was that the mileage was different. So now it becomes a mileage issue. Will that affect the value? Well, that's what we'll share with you at Frontier Motors. We'll run one of these absolutely free for you if you're buying a car from one of the major dealers in town. If you're buying from Uncle Bob down the street, or you're buying it from someone in the neighborhood, these can run as much as $39 just for a Carfax. I'm not sure what AutoCheck charges, but we give you both, and we can give it to you absolutely free. What is it, Ivan? You're looking at
Carfax is $39.95 for one report.
One report.
$49.95 for 5 reports, or $55 for unlimited reports for 60 days. We can run a report for you at no charge. We can run more than one report. I had one customer called Ron, and she asked me over a period of 30 days, I think we ran 8 reports for her, and she didn't buy a car from us. But I'll tell you what, she sends all of her customers to us. She was looking for a particular car. I think it was like a $6,000 Honda Accord. We didn't have one in inventory, so she was looking, and she asked us to look for the car for her. But I ran the Carfax reports because she heard our ad. She watched the TV show, and she said, I want to take you up on you. And she was kind of hesitant to see if we would really do it or if we would make her feel obligated that she's she ended up texting me all the time for the reports, and I did it for nothing. And folks, you can save a lot of money. Can you imagine $55 plus taxes? So it's $60 to get unlimited Carfax reports. And what we do is we not only do the Carfax, like Ron said, we also do the auto check. And the reason we run both is because sometimes they pull out of different databases, so we'll get more information or different information from one history report to the other. And the cool thing about Frontier Motors is that when you come on our lot and we have 300 cars inventory, our salespeople unlock them every morning, and both reports are in the glove box of every car. So you don't have to go see a salesman. Can you run me the report? They're right in there. And when you go online and you go to frontiermotorsinc.com, our website, you can click on any one of our 300 cars, and there's a link to Carfax and AutoCheck. And Ron, I did this with a dealership the other day because I was looking at a dealership's car. We had a customer looking for a car, and they said, we want to buy it from Frontier Motors. And there was a dealership in Atlanta that had the car that they wanted. So I went to that car, and they had the Carfax link, and went to the link, and they wanted you to pay. They wouldn't do it for free. It was $39.95. You got to be kidding me. You should be able to provide that at no charge. So on our website, the link is absolutely no charge.
Well, I had a customer tell me about 2 weeks ago. They didn't share this with you, that the salesman said that he could get him a Carfax for $10.
What?
Yeah, cash.
That
Not at our dealership.
That wasn't by us.
No, it wasn't by us. It was at,
Better
it was at a major dealership,
No
and the guy
kidding.
got fired. Yeah, the guy got fired, but he was selling them for $10.
What a cool little scam. Yeah, it's
So you
$40
never can tell what's
online. I'll
going
give
on
it to you
out
for $10. That's pretty interesting. Boy, customer, I would think, would complain about that a little bit when you're supposed to get it for free. Right, I was looking at the sales, and we talk about Frontier Motors. Of course, that's the whole reason for the show, to let people know about Frontier Motors, the type of inventory we have, and also what we do. But it's also about the car business, what's going on. And people will always ask me, well, how many cars does an average car dealership sell? And I've got the best and the worst, and the car
We're talking franchises, yeah.
franchise that sells the most is Toyota. Toyota sells 126 cars per dealership per month. That's their average for last month in November. Lexus is number 2.
Wow.
With 118. Can you imagine selling 118 Lexus per month? The amount of money that Lexus dealership is making has got to be astronomical. Honda is number 3 with 103 per dealership per month. Mercedes-Benz, I never knew this. They used to sell about 40 cars per dealership. The average Mercedes-Benz dealership sells 103 new cars per month.
Really?
That is amazing.
That is amazing
BMW
number.
92, that's also amazing. They used to be down in the 40s. Nissan 86, Subaru 73, which is pretty darn good. You'll notice I haven't even mentioned Chevrolet or Ford yet,
Wow.
which is really interesting. Hyundai 65, Audi 59 sales per dealership per month, Kia 57, then Ford at 57, Infiniti, Acura, VW, Chevrolet at 49.
Now, let me just go to this. Let me clear this up. There's probably, 4,500 Chevrolet dealerships?
Yeah, that's the most amount of franchises, and I'm going to look it up. The last time I checked was 45, but
At
let's
one
see how
time,
many are.
one Ford had one time when I was working with Ford, there was 6,000. There was even that many, and then they
A lot of them went out of business, though.
Yeah, a lot of them went out of business.
Plus, remember, they pulled a lot of franchises.
So-
Chevrolet,
so these big
when they
numbers.
went bankrupt.
Yeah, so
I'll
these
put
big
on how
numbers.
many Chevrolet dealerships are there?
Yeah, you can do that, and basically it tells you what's going on in the new car industry, and that new car industry comes right over to the used car industry, and that's what Ivan and I decided to do 19 years ago, along with Jenny, his wife, and come into the used car industry, be an independent dealership without all the strings attached, without all the big signs, and so far so good. It's worked. We're right outside of Car City. How many did you figure?
3,084. They're down to 3,084 dealerships.
3,084.
And then if we do Lexus, we got to do Lexus once.
We'll go ahead and do Lexus while I'm talking about dealerships. So we went around the corner outside Car City, and we got a place right there on Beverly Parkway. We're located at 230 Beverly Parkway. For those watching and listening, where you come down Brent Lane, cross over Highway 29, 2 or 3 blocks around your right-hand side. From the west side of town, come down Michigan Avenue, cross over W Street, and we'll be on your left-hand side. We bought that piece of property for mere pennies compared to what you can find them in Car City. Nothing wrong with the cars and places in Car City. We got some beautiful places. They make it look good. They make it look nice. When you go through Car City, it does look good. They're well represented for their franchise. But we went around the corner, lowered the overhead, and make it easier to make a deal. If we're going to compete against those big guys, it's got to be price.
Our repeat and referrals. It's the reason that we have 300 to 350 cars inventory. And we're actually a little down in inventory right now, which is another form of advertising that we do on the on this Blab show here and this COA radio show, is the fact that we do need cars. So if you have a car that you want to get rid of, maybe it's an extra car, maybe it's a car you inherited, take it up to Frontier Motors, and within minutes, we will give you a check for that car. If the check that we'll give you is not enough to make you happy, we might be able to consign the car. We'll normally give you a little bit more because we don't have to tie up our cash.
We have people ready for this. Keisha Streckel, Todd Gordon, Monroe Watley, our sales managers, while we're here at the radio station doing this, they're there, and they understand how to do this. It's easy, fast. We had a lady in there today, lost her husband about 6 weeks ago, and she was getting rid of that second car. And she was so amazed with Monroe Watley how fast and how easy he made this process. And that's one of the things that Ivan and I want to make sure that happens. If you're really going to sell us a car, we don't want to torture you. We don't want to steal your email
We'll make
address.
you a very fair offer.
Yeah, we don't want to steal your email address. We don't want to steal your number. We just want to talk to you about your car. We want to drive it around the block. We want to come back. We want to make you an offer. We're going to put it in writing. We're going to sign it. We're going to give you 7 days to make up your mind. And the lady there this morning, she says, "No, Monroe, you've given me enough information. I'm just going to sell it to you. She says, I have the title. Now, there's some other things. If you don't have the title and you have a payoff, we still can buy your car. We got two plans. A plan, you go pay your title off, bring us the title, we'll pay for it. Plan B, we'll send the payoff out, and when the difference gets back, we'll pay you. So it makes it
When the title gets
easy,
back.
real
When the
simple.
title gets back.
Title gets back. Exactly.
Yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of a lag there sometimes when you pay a car off as far as the title. Now, some of them have electronic titles,
Yeah.
which you can get them immediately, which means that you get your money immediately. But we really do a good job in helping the people in our community not put a car on Craigslist. Now, I always urge you that if there's another way to go, which would be us, instead of having people come over to your house at night and maybe getting scammed, it's to me, it might be a little frustrating. A lot of the cars that we buy, Ron, are from people that have had their cars on Craigslist, and 90 days later to say, I'm done with that. I just want to go ahead and sell you the car.
Yep. A couple of different savings. We talk about used cars. Today's new car is tomorrow's used cars. Here's a couple examples. We got a little Subaru in here. This Subaru, now, everybody would love to drive a $33,000 Subaru, I would think, especially if you wanted a utility vehicle, a nice little vehicle that had four-wheel drive. And, you said, I really can't afford $33,000. Well, used, $22,800.
Wow.
That's just amazing to me. That's a $10,000 savings. This is a 2010 Outback. So for just a few years off, you get to save $10,000. Now you can afford $22,800. That's pretty easy. Here's a Ford Edge.
So that's $5,000 per year. 2-year-olds, right?
It would be $2,500 per year. It was
$2,500 per year.
4 years old. Here's a 2013 Edge Limited. Now this is kind of crazy. This is $37,950. I got the new window sticker. It only has 24,000 miles on it. So if you went to the Ford dealer, nothing against the Ford dealer. We have a great Ford dealer up here at World Ford. You're going to buy a new car, you got to buy it from the new Ford. We hope you do it in town. But here, 24,000 miles later, $27,900. That's $10,000 off. This is 24,000 miles. And it ain't beat up. It's got a clean Carfax. It's got a clean history report. Just today's new car is today's used car. Here's another one like this one here, too. This is a Ford F-Series pickup truck. Ivan. $51,251. It had an extra fuel tank, and they put a carrying rack on there, so it's about $53,000 new. Now, $53,000 for a car.
Must be a diesel truck. Is
It
it a
must
diesel
be a
truck?
diesel truck.
Mhm.
But yeah, but who wants to drive a $51,000 truck? Me. But
I don't want to pay for it.
with $31,000. This is what it's on sale for at Frontier Motors. Got 56,000 miles. It's not even broke in. Ivan's right. It's a diesel. That's a $20,000 savings. And that's what we're talking about, Frontier Motors. And I think Ivan mentioned some numbers. We sold 217 cars last month. Probably going to sell somewhere around 200 here in the month of December. The reason for that is this. Saving people money, doing business the right way, having the cars open in the morning before you folks get there so you can look through them, having a car and history report in the glove box, not hiding anything, having these things available, like Ivan said before, the NADA, the Black Book, the new car cost guides, everything you need to make a decision so you don't have to make it a week-long adventure buying a car, I think that's where that's where we lead right there.
Well, one of the things that we talk about is that it's which is a feather in our cap, is that we try not to sell you a car. What we try to do is have people pick out a car. And there's a big difference. When you come on the lot, you're not going to be jumped on. You're not going to have 15 salespeople try to get you to make a decision right then and there. And that's one of the reasons we unlock our cars every morning, so you don't feel obligated like the salesman's running back and forth and getting you a key every time you want to sit in a car. If you want to sit in 10 or 15 different cars, that's a lot of work. That's why our cars are unlocked. But people really appreciate the way we do business, because we don't do if I did this, would you buy right now? If I give you this much for your trade-in, would you buy right now? What we do is we give you the information. Here's the value of our car. Here's what we can discount our car. Here's the discounted price. Here's the fair wholesale value of your car. Here's the balance. Here's the taxes, title, and dock fee. And we'll circle the bottom line. And then we'll say, if you're not ready to buy a car, that's fine. But take this figure and compare it to the competition. And we already do this before we give you those figures. We've got a program called Price Drivers that tells me every car that's available with anywhere from 150 miles all the way nationwide, to make sure when I give you that price that I've got the best deal, because we want you to come back. So we do a lot of research when we give you the price to make sure that you do feel comfortable. And a lot of people, they don't even shop. They just say, well, you already showed me every car that's available and how much they're asking. You're already $1,000 under that price. I'll just buy it from you.
We want it to be an advantage for you to trade your car in. And Ivan and I run into a lot of people that, what he was talking about Craigslist earlier, that didn't sell their car. And we asked them, well, why are you selling your car? Well, I bought a new car. Well, why didn't you trade your car? Well, they wouldn't give me enough.
They wouldn't give me enough.
They wouldn't give me enough. Now, That's not, that dealer whoever that dealer is should be shot. If
Shot. Well, that's a little harsh, isn't it? Maybe,
all right,
maybe
take it out and whooped with a stick.
Yeah,
How's
maybe
that?
whipped. But shot.
But we look at it as an advantage when you come to Frontier Motors and you're buying one of our cars or look at one of our cars and want to buy one and you have a trade-in. That's kind of an advantage to us because now it becomes a two-car sale.
We get
for
excited
us.
when there's
we
a
get
trade-in.
excited because now it becomes a two-car sale, and sometimes it can be a three-car sale because the car you trade in, if it's a car that we could sell, we have an opportunity to sell it. What if we get a trade-in on that? Now we got 3 cars down the road, so it makes it an advantage. And if some dealer's not treating you right with your trade-in, please just stop by Frontier Motors. We're located at 230 Beverly Parkway. Let us look at the car. Let us put that value in writing, even if you're going to a new car dealership or not. And if you decide, hey, we had a gentleman, I don't know, it's been probably 2-3 years ago, I remember, walked in, real nice gentleman, had a big suit on tie, and he was going over to Infinity of Mobile to buy a brand new Infinity. He said, I want to sell my car. I said, why don't you trade it? I don't want to deal with that. And it's okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bad-mouthing anybody. He just didn't want to deal with it, and that's the way he did. Ivan drove his car, gave him an appraisal in writing. I says, I'll take it. Here's your title. Give me a check. He put that check in his pocket, and away to Mobile he went to buy his new car. You can make it that easy. Or just come over to Frontier Motors at 230 Beverly Parkway and trade your car in. And one of these nice, can be one of these nice used cars I told you about, the great savings.
And there's a lot of reasons sometimes why a dealership doesn't give you what we consider a fair value for your trade-in. Number one, they might not have the money. It might be hard to believe, but some of the dealerships don't have the money. If they have, for example, if they have $1 million credit line for their used cars and they're ready at $1.1 million, and here you come with a $20,000 trade-in, they physically don't have the money to buy the trade, so they call someone else for the appraisal, a broker, and the broker takes a cut of the appraisal value, so you're going to get a lower appraisal. If you come to us, we're not a broker. We'll buy the car from you. The other reason they might not want to give you a good appraisal is because they don't have an interest in your car. What if they had a vehicle like that and it had sat for a long time? They weren't interested in the vehicle. They didn't have anybody coming looking at a car like that. You'll get a low appraisal. And I've seen this happen already with diesel trucks on some import lots. And I'll use Lexus Mobile as an example. If you got a diesel 1-ton dually, they're probably not going to be too excited at a Lexus dealership putting on their used car lot. So what do they do? They call the Ford dealership across the street. Well, the Ford dealership's already got 8 of them there, so they're not that excited either, but they'll still give them a bid. What they'll do is just give you a really low bid. At Frontier Motors, because we sell those diesels, we sell sports cars, economy cars, luxury cars, we sell every make and model, we will give you a bid on any make and model. And now, we, after 19 years in business, we actually have dealerships calling us for their appraisal. So when they have a vehicle they don't need, we appraise it for them. I had somebody call us on a GTR the other day, Ron. It was a local dealer, and a GTR is a high-performance Nissan sports car. And they said, we have nobody coming on our lot for something like this. And I know you guys do a good sports car business. So they called us for the appraisal, which is really a feather in our cap that another dealer calls us for a value on a vehicle.
And same thing this morning, called on a 1-ton pickup truck. They don't have a place for it. They're going to call Frontier Motors.
That was a dealer?
Yep, another dealer.
That's
absolutely. Cool. We haven't talked too much about our website. It's frontiermotorsinc.com, Frontier Motors INC. You Google Frontier Motors, generally will come up, Pensacola, Florida. Come through there. We have 300 cars on there, about 20 to 30 pictures of good quality cars. Look at it, decide. Sometimes narrowing your search. If you're going to come to a car lot with 300 cars, you might want to search, and you might want to narrow your search, and then print those off or email us. And if somebody don't get back to you right away, no, we don't have anybody on night, but during the day, if you're emailing us or you're calling us, and you don't get a response right away, call Ivan and me. Mm-hmm. If the response isn't fast enough, you don't think it is, just give us a call. I saw one email this morning that says, do not call me. And I understand why that may be. They may be at work and they can't get phone calls at work. That makes sense. So you do have to email some people. Some people prefer to have you call. We'd rather talk to you in person because most of our salespeople, they'll take their phone right here and they'll walk around the car for you. They'll grab the phone, call you, go out there and walk around the phone. And if you're buying a car on the internet, I don't care where you're buying it, if it's Pensacola, Florida, or Atlanta, or if it's out of town, get that salesman out there and let him walk around that car and tell you where every dent, every scratch, everything is. Tell him to go in there and sniff it. If you're allergic to smoke, tell him to sniff it. How does it smell? How does it look? Because you'll be surprised. We've had people go to Atlanta, people go to Dallas, people all the way up to Chicago. There's that one story we've told before, all the way up to Chicago, and they flim-flammed the guy, and they found out the Carfax was bad. It was a bad car. You know what they did? They spent all day long when that guy flew up there to sell him another vehicle. And you know what? You thought the same thing. I flew up there. I got to buy something to drive home. So be a little bit cautious when you work on the internet. But Frontier Motors, 300 cars strong on the internet. If you want to do a credit application over the air, you can do that. It's secured. comes in right there to the internet specialist. They'll take care of that and have someone call you back probably within the hour.
The type of cars that we sell are, I said before, we really don't specialize in anything. We have all makes and models, but we are the alternative to new. So if I was going to say we specialize in something, it's the fact that we do have a lot of vehicles that have under 10,000 miles on it. Last time I counted, Ron, last week, we had 74 cars under 15,000 miles.
Wow.
That's that really low miles. Our lowest mileage vehicle is a Toyota Camry hybrid that we have, a 14 hybrid with 600 miles on it. And after that, we've got a Chevy Sonic with 700 miles, a Buick Encore, which is their small sport utility with 800 miles on it, a Nissan Armada with 900 miles, a Honda Pilot, a 15 Honda Pilot with 900 miles on it, a Toyota Prius V, which is their big wagon Prius with 2,000 miles on it, a Corvette Stingray with 2,500 miles, an Avenger with 2,000 miles, a Lexus LS 460, which is their big flagship car with navigation, backup camera, sensors, 3,500 miles on it. We even have a 15 Volvo XC60, which is their medium-sized sport utility with 3,700 miles. I can go on and on. I don't want to bore everybody to death, but I think you get the gist of the fact that we do have a lot of cars in stock that are like new, and because of that, we take a lot of cars in trade that are inexpensive, that are under $10,000.
We don't have any stale, ugly inventory. We have 47 cars in the last 10 days. So if you shop Frontier Motors during the holidays, guess what? 10 days later, we got 47 different vehicles that you didn't get to see. So you got to make sure you look on our website or come by and visit us. We didn't talk a little bit about financing. I think we got a couple of minutes left. Financing is excellent in the car business right now. You see it in the new car dealerships. You see it in the used car dealerships. I saw some 1.84 the other day go out of the dealership on a 2014 car. Now, they had to have superior credit. They had to have everything in line.
Well-qualified buyers.
Yeah, they had well-qualified. They had to have the good down payment. But, 1.9, 2.9, 3.9, 4.9, all of that's good right now, folks. So if you want to buy a car and you need to finance it, come see us at Frontier Motors. You got two specialists back there, Darren Skitt and Brian Merritt. If you want to give them a call before you come down, or just do our online credit application. Make it simple, make it easy.
Yeah, and we talk about the fact that we will buy your car from you. We do free history reports. We'll give you advice if you're going to buy a new car somewhere, or if you're going to buy a used car down the road. Call us. You don't have to tell us what they're asking for. Give us the ID number, the miles, and the equipment. We'll run the Carfax for you and the auto check, and we'll tell you what we can sell you that car for. The other thing you do also is you can like us on Facebook, and you can go to YouTube. You can actually watch this television show on YouTube, and all of our cars are also on YouTube with videos. So there's a couple different ways to reach us, and one of them, of course, is using the old-fashioned way, which most people don't do, and that is calling us, which is 436-8080. You can also email us and go on the website, YouTube us, and like us on Facebook.
Yeah, when you subscribe to YouTube, I was looking at that yesterday with my grandson, and you subscribe. If a new show comes up from that particular person, gives you a little beep and tells you there's a new show ready for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a pretty neat little deal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think we got about 30 seconds to go. We want to thank everybody for the terrific year in 2014, to all our WCOA listeners.
Best year ever.
Best year ever for all our cable viewers, for everybody that's bought a car from us. We appreciate it. We hope we extend that business into 2015. Please be safe, don't drink, and don't drive.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.
Overpay, come in today, doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.